the overview how it will be today's session, from where we are going to start the FCCS application, what are the components in it, and uh, from where we are going to start the source systems, and what is the intermediary tool like to load the data into the FCCS application, what could be the inbound applications, right? So, and then from FCC to what is the possible outbound to outbound data to the applications, right? And what are the reporting tools? This information we'll see, and then if possible, we'll see the features also in the application. Okay. So let me check. Today's is going to be more about the process, like consolidation process, how it is going to be, and what are the components and difference between HFM and FCC application also as well. First, we will see this is a OLAP systems, online analytical processing systems, where we can find the FCC, EPP, and all the applications. But EPP is having like 4 more modules are there. But FCC is the one where we can see the consolidation system. So it is totally a license-based application, like because of it is the cloud application. So everywhere you could get the license of that. Once the client is getting the license, the total environment will be available. Okay, it's not like on-premise systems. Because of when you go for the on-premise systems, you need to get the softwares to be installed, all the artifacts to be installed. Then only you can able to log into the application. But whereas in cloud applications, you just get the license, and once you get the license, you just log into the application by using their credentials. Okay. And this is OLAP system, but when we go for the consolidation, what kind of statements that you are going to provide from the consolidation application? It's the consolidation application will be providing income statement, balance sheet, cash flow, and few of the calculations, like few of the calculations in the sense, if there are any KPI calculations, you can use it, and you can provide KPI calculations also as well from the application. But it is all about standalone reports as well as consolidated reports that you are going to provide by using the FCC application. Okay. What is the source data for my target application, right? Because of when I'm going to create these reports, I definitely should require some source data, right? I should definitely require some source data. From where I am going to get the source data? The source data, usually you will be getting from Fusion, JD Edwards, right? Like Oracle Financials, or Fusion, JD Edwards, Microsoft Dynamics, or PeopleSoft Financials. Likewise, we have multiple ERP system. I can say ERP systems. You will be having the multiple ERP system. The ultimate goal from the ERP system, what we need to get is, you need to get the trial balance data. What you have to get? You have to get the trial balance data. But your organization is not going to be located in one area. It could be located across the global, right? Any ERP you can get it, but ultimately there itself, they have to provide the general ledger, sub ledger system, and general ledger system definitely there itself. And they are going to create some chart of accounts prior to that. Chart of accounts in the sense, like what are the components are required to make a general. So when I say any general, it's nominal, giver and receiver, right? So we have to create a transaction in ERP system. What is mean by like chart of accounts? Chart of accounts are nothing but like what kind of account, entity, cost center, channel, product, right? Intercompany, and how many components, how many members are required, right, to prepare a general. So that should be defined at the time of initiate the ERP system creation, right? Once the chart of accounts are created, there is no way to recreate or to update the chart of accounts list. So it's a one-time activity from the ERP side. So the chart of accounts definition is like they can create like account, entity, intercompany, channel, and product, right? Likewise, they can create the chart of accounts, which we will be using our FCC application creation also, but we will talk later point in time. But for now, I am just saying that these are the chart of accounts will be defined in the ERP systems, and based on that, we will be getting the trial balance data, and we can also call it as general ledger data, right? So by using the string, mean like these members, ERP team will be providing the generals, will be posting the generals. These generals will be posted into subledger. This subledger data posted into general ledger. Ultimately, we will get the general ledger data by every month. The transactions will be done. See, because of ERP system is a transactional system, right? So when I say the transactional system or LTP, transactional processing system. So when I say the transaction system, the daily transactions, say when you go and buy something, that the transaction will be taken place. So daily activities will be considered. Daily activities will be posted in ERP system, and these transactions will be again like moved to the subledger, and the subledger data will be posted into general ledger. What are the subledgers will be there? So I can say AP, AR, inventory, cash management, order management, right? And likewise, we have different subledgers out there. So these are the subledgers. Once this subledgers data has been verified, and then it is going to be posted all the data into general ledger. Okay, this general ledger is not going to be having all the data into one general ledger, because of your organization may be established in different countries like US, UK, India, Australia, right? Likewise, you have different entities, different locations. It has been defined. So the general ledger will be defined based on the country specific. I can say business unit specific. I can say country specific. Okay, it's going to be a balancing segment. I can say in ERP terminology, we can call them as our segments. Okay, these are the segments are being associated in ERP system, and based on that, the transaction can be created in the organization. So here, this is going to be subledger, but based on the country, right? The general ledger will be specified because of the general ledger is associated with the functional currency. Say, if I go for the general ledger data for US, it will be providing in USD currency, and it will be providing GBP, INR, AUD, and MYR, right? So the general ledger data will be provided from US ledger is going to be in USD currency. So I can say general ledger US, general ledger UK, general ledger India. Likewise, we have different files from the trial balance data from each and every general ledger. So it's all about, I can say, it's a functional currency. It's a functional currency, right? So this functional currency is the source to our target application. This is the source data. Always you should be rely on the source data of ERP general ledger data from each location or each ledger, I can say, because of ledgers will be defined in the application based on the country specific. How many ledgers are there in your organization? Based on that, you need to rely on the ledgers data to be loaded into FCC application. All the ledgers data should be loaded. Okay, so that's where you have to provide the data load into the application. I mean like a FCC application. But you may ask how I'm going to create the FCC application, right? So this is about ERP system. Any questions for the ERP system before going to FCC start? It's a high level, but we are not going to bother about this one because of SME is there for ERP system. We always need to check with the ERP team about the transactional data. That is nothing but trial balance data. Okay. This is from here onwards, you need to depends on the ERP data. but and again also you should be rely on the chart of accounts, because of based on the chart of accounts you are going to build your FCC application also as well. Okay. So while creating the FCC application during the requirements, you may ask to the SME of ERP, what is the structure, chart of accounts structure is there. So once they provide, based on that, we will be taking a key decision saying that what are the components, what are the member segments needs to be replicated in FCC application also as well. Okay. So any questions till now here? So I will move on to the FCC application, how we are going to replicate them into the FCCS application. No questions, that means okay.
Hold on 1 second.
Anyone is asking?
Would there be like an application that do the accounts conversion from the general ledger system to FCC?
Yes.
Okay. So would that be housed in FCC, or it would be a kind of like a bridge between the two app?
Yes. Mean like the thing is you are going, it's not
Just
separate.
like in HFM, we use, for example, if we need to extract data from outside source, or rather from SBase, for example, we use standard analytics. Then, like
Yes,
in
yes,
the
there is
whole,
a bridge between these two. Is data management is the tool. I will be explaining that. So
okay,
I explained this source system, I can say, and we are going to talk about the target system, right?
okay. So
These are
this
the
source system, do we as an administrator have any control over it, or is going to be administered by a different body entirely?
this is mean like you are asking about the FCC application.
No. Okay, I'm talking about the source
So
system.
systems, yeah, you don't rely, I mean, you don't need to touch anything from here. You just think of the GL systems, right? GL data from each ledger. Okay.
Okay, that's all I need to know. Yeah, I
Yeah,
got it.
that's it. You don't need to work on anything on this. You just get the ledger data. This ledger data is going to be net of should be 0. So
Yeah.
whenever you are loading data or from ERP system, the general ledger data, and this is going to be provided by monthly basis. Again, it's not going to be daily basis because of
So, so,
general ledger
so
data will be
technically, as an administrator, we don't need to have any expertise on any of these general ledger systems. For example, the Fusion, AROP, JDSOS, and Microsoft Dynamics, right?
Mhm.
We don't have no. We don't need to have any specialization in it, or rather, be a specialist in it, other than
Yeah.
knowing the chart of account.
Yes, chart of account is one only across the, I mean, like, see, these are the all examples. The chart of accounts, if you go for the ERP, there could be a chart of accounts, right? One chart
Mm-hmm.
of account. So across all these ledgers, they are going to be used the same chart of accounts. So
Okay.
if there is any new acquisition or new acquisition is there, their chart of account is going to be something different from here, right? But if this is the organization, they are having the same chart of accounts across all the ledgers. If there is any new
Yep.
acquisition, then only you might be having some different chart of accounts, right? I will explain how you could manage this one, I mean, like while loading the data.
Okay.
Okay. So this ledger data also we used to get by every month, like say for example, we are going to get October 22. So it's a monthly data again, it's not going to be a daily data. So all the ledgers data, so the net off should be 0. The net off for all the, so I mean like zeros should be there when you go for the all the trial balance data from each ledger. So it should be the net off should be going to be a 0. Otherwise, there is something issue in the GL system, right? General ledger. So we need to figure it out and fix that issue to make sure that will become 0. Okay. Otherwise, there is an issue in the general ledger. So the basic thumb rule when you are loading the data into FCCS, or once you loaded the data into FCCS, you need to cross-check the trial balance data is 0 or not. One of the basic steps that we have to perform during the data loads. Okay. Coming to the FCC application now. Coming to the FCCS application now. So there are yesterday, I mean, like in the session, like what are the standard dimensions? I mentioned 11 standard dimensions and 4 custom dimensions, right? So out of which, so you need to look after this chart of accounts structure like account, entity, intercompany, channel, product. Yes, those are all already will be available in 11 standard dimensions, right? Account is there, entity is there, intercompany is there. So based on the generic information, they have given the standard dimensions. So which will be leveraged all the components like the chart of account structure will be leveraged within the standard dimensions level. I will explain the standard dimensions again. So again, out of these standard dimensions, there are 4 custom dimensions. But this channel and product is the one. It is not going to be not going to be associated with the 11 standard dimensions, and there is a possibility to create 4 custom dimensions. So you can use these custom dimensions and define the channel and product as a custom dimension. Okay. So this is the way that you are going to be split the standard dimensions and custom dimensions and make your dimensionality in FCC application. Okay. So 11 standard dimensions are there. Yes, it has the functionality about account, entity, and intercompany. Standard dimensions are associated with this 11 standard dimension, but 2 custom dimensions you should define by using the custom dimensions itself. Okay. So let's go with the, again, I'm going to show you 11 standard dimensions. So these are the standard dimensions we are having in the application. These are the standard dimensions, right? So already, if you go for this account, entity, these are already there. Intercompany is already there. Okay. So these are all keep coming or keep changing the structures in the organization. So you need to be change them by monthly, right? Whenever you are having changes in your ERP system, definitely you need to replicate them into the application as well. Okay. So in the FCCS application as well. So again, when I say that, and the 4 custom dimensions. So there is a possibility to create the 4 custom dimension as C1, C2, C3, C4, right? I mean, the max of custom dimensions that you can provide as 4 custom dimensions. But I have only 2 custom dimensions. I'm going to use them as 2 custom dimensions, custom 1 and custom 2 as a product and a channel. Channel and product are the custom dimensions that I'm going to create. Okay. So this is the way that you are going to define your dimensionality in the FCCS application. Fine. How I am going to integrate between these 2 systems? This is my target system.
Wow, boy.
So this is my target system and this is my source system, right? How I am going to associate, how I am going to integrate between these 2 systems. So the source system is not going to be one. It can be anything, any one of them, right? Or you might have different source systems also as well. Okay. But our target system is okay. So our target system is FCCS application. Obviously, our target is FCC only. There is no other application. But the data management is supports not only for FCC. This data management ETL tool, I can say ETL. This is supports going to be your any application like EPB application or ARC application or any application, it's going to be used. The data management is not specific to the FCC application. It's also supports for I mean like EPB application and or EPB ARC application or PCMC application, any application you are going to use this the data management. Okay, so what it does, it is going to be extracting the data from your source system, the chart of accounts, right? And the data is also going to be extracted and then transforming the data, extract the data from source system, transform the data from source system to target systems and load the data. I can say export the data into the target systems, right? Extract, transform, and export. I mean, like I can say simply here, you can understand import. Import in the sense importing data from source system and transform the data and export the data into the target system. But here the terminology is extract, transform, and load. But in our exercise, I am saying that the same terminology, but import, transform, and then load the data. Transforming will be done based on the mappings. The mappings information you need to provide in the data management. Data management is a tool again which will be acting as a intermediary tool or a bridge between your source systems to the target systems. Okay, so once you, and this is all about, I can say, metadata as a concept of we can call it as metadata. So why? Because all this I mean like a physical architecture should be available, should be reside in the application before going to start any data load process. So the data load process will be done once your metadata is ready. How you are going to build your metadata? So when I say account dimension, right, in the requirements phase, you need to get the consolidation system, what the business is doing, the consolidation system, right? So the existing consolidation system that you need to understand while getting the requirements or while preparing the account dimension hierarchy. So the existing consolidation system you need to be understand. Based on that, you need to replicate that into the account dimension. But adding one more point here, how the dimensionality will be prepared in FCC application. Obviously, any BI technology, the relationship between the relationship within the dimension should be in a parent dot child parent child relationship only. So when I say in the account dimension, so just simply I'm going to take the gross profit. The example would be sales and cost of goods sold. The base members on sales and cost of goods sold data will be aggregated into gross profit. But what you need to understand here is the chart of accounts data will be provided, or the general ledger data will be provided the data at base level here, right? And this data will be aggregated into the parent level and I can say the derived member. This is the income statement related component, and this is something related from the general ledger. So based on that, you need to prepare the hierarchy structure in the account dimension. How the existing reporting requirement are there, and what is the existing chart of account structure, right? And you will be getting the hierarchy from ERP system also. If they ask you, they will provide the hierarchy structure along with the account types. Okay, I will explain the account types and all the stuff, but just you need to focus on the hierarchy structures at this moment. So you need to get the hierarchy structure. You need to get the reporting requirement first. What is the existing reporting requirement, right? What is the existing reporting requirement for the profit and loss account and income statement, sorry, for balance sheet, right? You need to get that hierarchy structure. You also need to be replicate the same hierarchy structure in the parent-child relationship, because of in the reporting requirement, you will be getting the horizontal way the reports will be provided, but you need to transform them or you need to convert them into the parent-child relationship in the account dimension or entity dimension or like, yep, these are the major dimensions. Rest of them are all standard ones. We will not get much changes in the other dimensions. Most frequently or very very every month we will be getting the changes for account and entity dimension itself. Okay. Based on that, you need to prepare the parent-child relationship, and you have to be ready with the you have to be ready with the metadata part, right? All this stuff is going to be your metadata part. So once your metadata is ready, right? So then you can start your data load process. How the data file look like? What is the point of intersection? What does it mean by point of intersection, point of view? So when I say data, once you are ready with the dimension numbers and all the stuff, the metadata, next step would be you need to load the data by using the point of intersection, right? So the point of intersection is going to be intersect all the numbers, and you need to define the account is going to be sales, entity is US, scenario is actual, year is FY22, period is October, view is YTD, currency is USD, consolidation entity import, ICP no intercompany, data source is managed data, movement is net changes in income, and channel 1 and product 1. So you need to tell all these members information to provide any data value that we can call it as a POV, point of view, or point of intersection. Okay. So, and the components, what are the activities that we are going to perform in real-time scenarios, right? What are the components that we are going to perform in real-time scenarios? This is I mean, it is very basic, very high level. You need to know at high level when you go into the organization to know about more how FCCS works, right? And once you are you know about these components, what are the process? What is the process that we will be doing in FCCS application, right? So first, you should be ready with your metadata file. This is very, very important, and without that, we can't do anything in the application. So first, you will be ready with your metadata applications, and ready with that files and everything has been loaded, and your metadata validation is done, right? And you have to do the metadata validation also. Why? Because there are some limitations in the metadata also. So business, I mean, so if you do as per the email like planning applications, if you do the metadata but it won't support again, so you need to perform some validation steps again. So these validation steps are already been defined within the application. So you just go and do the validation once our metadata is ready. Okay. So once our metadata is ready, so you should perform the metadata validation and make sure there are no errors. So then only your metadata update is accurate.
Bobby, sorry to disturb you. Is there any basic rules of for validation for this metadata?
There are inside of that. I mean, there is a component. I mean, like validate metadata option is there. So you just run it. System will be taking the rules against what they decided, right? So it will throw the errors. Based on the errors, we need to fix it. But there is no customized rule from our end, but it is already defined in the application.
Okay, in the defined application, what are all the rules or validation points? It is there. Okay, we can understand now why it is error it is coming and how the
Yeah,
errors
we
are
have to
coming,
go on to
what
fix
basis.
it. Yeah,
Understood, Bobby.
yeah. So because of there are some limitations, like it is a hybrid application. So few of the properties needs to be defined what they decided, right? So we can get it from the admin guide, but if we overlook or something went wrong, so it will be giving that errors while doing the validation of the metadata, right? So then we go on fix them again. Oh, yep. So metadata is ready once, then we can build the data management component, right? Data management, which will be supposed to extract the general ledger, which also includes the intercompany balances also as well. And then FX rates also to be loaded either from the data management or else you can upload the FX rates within the FCCS application. Okay. So what we'll be doing, general ledger data and intercompany balance also part of trial balance will come, and you need to make sure the FX rates to be loaded. And also you just make sure that overrides data, equity override information is also required. So if you get the equity override data, either rate or amount, you need to get that information from the business, equity override or amount. And then any adjustments, right? Any adjustments that you would like to post into the application, you need to start with the generals. So the generals concept is there. And then any process management, you need to start the process of the data. Then you need to use the process management to apply, so that you need to start the process management and every month. So system supposed to load the data by monthly. So that is the reason you can restrict if there are any unwanted data to be loaded into the future periods. You can avoid that kind of scenarios, that kind of data loads, which not happens, but you can restrict them or don't load any data into the future periods. And the journals and process management is there. Intercompany is already there, so it will be taken care about the eliminations. I can say intercompany partner, intercompany data, and journals data if you want to post it and everything, right? So, and then before going to start the process management and you need to load any ownership data is required, you need to load the ownership data also as well, right? So once you provide the ownership data and this is the last option. If you would like to start this process management, it's fine. Otherwise also you can ignore that and you can start your data load process. Okay.
Question.
Mhm.
The data management in FCCS is that comparable to that of HFM?
Uh, HFM, HFM, you will be using the FDME, right?
Right.
But data
So,
management is the exclusively using for within the cloud applications.
say that one more time.
Data management will be using only for cloud applications.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead. Let's keep going.
Mhm. Okay. And ownership data and process management. Once this process management is done, so everything has been set up. Just you go and run the consolidation, right? So once you run the consolidation, it will be taken care about your translation here. And if there are any general posting, it will be taken care. General and equity overrides are there. It will be override the equity overrides. And intercompany, it will be taking the eliminations, ownership data. It based on this, it will be proportion the data, right? And then it will be provided the consolidated data. But all these steps are required, right? Before going to perform the consolidation, make sure this your metadata to ownership and process management data, everything has been set up accurately, right? So that then only you can start your data validations within the after consolidation. You can start your data validation from scratch, like trial balance validation, and then translation validation, and equity override validation, and elimination validation, over ownership validation, right? All these validations that you have to perform on the data, right? So once you are good with the data, then only your consolidation is also good. So you can find the financial reports, you can prepare the financial statements. Once the consolidation is done, then you can prepare the financial statements by using the HFR, Hyperion Financial Reports, or SmartView. SmartView is the Excel add-in where you can prepare the reports in the SmartView is nothing but Excel. It's more flexible to validate the data, but most of the cases, the generic reports will be published and generated by using the HFR. By changing the period, you can generate the reports from HFR. Okay. And this is the reporting system, but again, it's up to the business call if they want to go for the any reporting requirements like any Tableau or any other reporting requirements are there. Yes, we need to understand whether we can leverage the data into the other reporting tools like Tableau or ClickView, right? So OBI, those dashboards, those visualization tools are there. If they want to go with that, we can need to check the possibility between these two applications, right? So then we can present the dashboards data into the visualization tools like ClickView or Tableau like that. Okay, that is again another part, but here itself it is the HFR reports where you can generate the financial statements by monthly and you can publish those reports, right? So this is about overview. I can say that from scratch, like at high level, you should understand this concept before you just start your application of the FCC application. Okay. So the next step is we're going to check the creating an FCC application, and we will be talking about more features, right? What are the features that it has, all the information. So that we will talk later by tomorrow. So any questions for now? We will be talking about that now for the questions.
So how many days the course duration is?
It's about 22 to 25 hours.
Okay, are you going to teach the data management as well?
Yes, obviously. Data management, smart queue also will be covered.
So the existing on-premise FDMEE where you can create sources from PeopleSoft and eBusiness Suite and SQL and OBIEE, whatever. And at the same time, the destination is not only HFM, but you can map to planning and SBase and other sources also, right? In the
Yes.
on-premise FDMEE. But in the data management, which comes with FCCS, you always the destination is FCCS application only. So we cannot load other instances like SBase or planning, right?
Let me explain that one here. So you will be having the license for FCC application, right? The pod, we can call it as a pod. So once you get the pod, within that pod, you will be having only FCCS application and data management is associated with that. Okay. When you go for EPB application, there is another pod. It is not going to reside with the same pod again, right? It will be having again another pod, EPBCS, and it will be also associated data management component inside of that, again in that pod. Okay. And when you go for this, yes, you will be having the source systems like databases or whatever it is, you can have it. You can load the data into FCC application. That's fine. But again, you want to be loaded this FCC data into EPB, like there is a possibility to load the data from EPM to EPM, right? And you are going to register this EPB application in FCC and push the data into EPB modules like financial module. Got it?
But I cannot do that from FCC into on-premise planning application.
On-premise planning application is not there, but you can just do that data extraction and keep into a file.
Sorry, your voice is breaking. So from
keep
FCC,
into a file. You can extract that into a custom file.
that's it. So that I cannot directly map to that, right? So
map to the system is not there. Yep.
Okay, that's what
back to on-premise is not there, but bring the data from on-premise database systems and everything is there. By using the EPM integration agent component is there. EPM integration agent is the tool where you can extract the query-based data from the source system.
Okay. So are you going to give the examples with notes for each and every feature, how it is going to use in the FCCS, like currency consolidation, intercompany elimination, how the consolidation process runs?
Yes. So, I will be explaining, might be you haven't attended session, so let me show you. So I can be giving the explanation about the features and then about the metadata, like S-based concepts, which are because of FCC is, the backend engine is S-based, right? So how to give the components of that and the seeded hierarchy structure, seeded members of the account dimension and all the dimensions information. Then once the metadata is ready, then I can go for the data management components, right? And then go for the smart view, how it works, and then the translation, how the translation works, CTA works, and FX impact is there, right? and all those things will be covered, and then go for the generals, how we are going to post the generals, eliminations, how it takes the eliminations, the point of intersection and everything. And all these components will be covered one by one.
Are you going to teach EPM automate and the APIs, how to run from local
API,
machine?
I'm not going to teach, but EPM automate few of the comments, like I will show you the few of the comments, how it works and how to use them.
Okay.
REST APIs is going to be, I will explain theoretically, but I'm not going to show you the practical way.
How many hours is the class? 1 hour or 2 hours?
It's about 1 hour only.
Okay, so 28 hours total, 28 to 30 hours.
24 to 25 hours max.
Okay. Are you going to
The
teach
same
on
timings
Saturdays
only,
and
Bobby?
Sorry?
are you going to teach Saturday, Sundays, or only 5 days a week?
It's about all of the folks, how they are interested.
Marvin,
Yeah,
just for clarity purpose, can you put the dates, say for example, it's in column C, just so that we know, I'm going to share with other people, and just so that they know the date of each of the sessions.
Okay, fine then. I will put a date.
Yeah, so that
Yeah.
just so that, for example, today we have this, the last time we had this, just like that.
Okay, sure. Definitely, I will
And you
add
can
it.
you can avoid US holidays, like we are getting like Thanksgiving and Saturday, Sundays, a lot of people on travel. So
Yeah, sure. By that time, we will take a break, not an issue. Okay. Any questions for
Okay.
today?
Thank you. That's fine.
Yeah, Douglas, please share the others too.
Yeah. So, before I share